Hello and welcome to Quarterlight and today's episode for the Fiat 128. Hello and welcome back to Quarterlight. Quarterlight's a car brochure channel, so we're often looking at car brochures like this rather lovely Fiat 128. Over the last few weeks we have been kind of like looking at Fiats, and a few people are saying hooray, it's nice to see a few Fiats. I thought we'd carry it on a little bit longer with this delightful brochure from 1976. So let's throw it on the board and let's see what it has to offer. So yeah, here is today's brochure. A lovely little image, and don't worry, I'll zoom in a little bit further in a moment. But the Fiat, and this is showing the Fiat 128 Saloon 2 and 4-door, and it is a UK brochure. Rather lovely little cars these. Like I say, we've been looking at quite a few Fiats in these sort of smaller format brochures. Although we were looking at the 80s, now we're back to 1976, June 76, just to remind us that, you know, they weren't just in the 80s where they were producing these little brochures. And you can certainly once again imagine walking into a dealership in the 70s and seeing this lovely little brochure in a colour. You saw quite a few of them, like sort of like pea green colour, but I think it really suits it. Let's just zoom in a bit further. So as we zoom in, we can see it's got a number plate on there, interested in M registered, and that would have been August 1973 to July 1974. And a reminder that this does say it's a 1976 brochure. Now if this was Ford or Vauxhall or indeed many other manufacturers, they would have doctored this number plate to make it look like a much newer car, so it looked better in the showroom as you was buying your brand new 1976 Fiat. Fiat said, no, we're not bothering doing that, so we have to assume that that is probably a genuine number plate for this car. But what a lovely car. You always forget really, because you remember these cars as being quite rusty examples in the UK. Fiats and rust never went together well, but let's not forget, I think personally Fords were just as bad, and many cars were just as bad in the 70s. 70s and rust was an issue. That's sad, because I think 70s are my favourite era for cars actually. But yeah, it's nice to see one without rust to remind us what a lovely little design these are. So they're a saloon, so they've got a boot. Never been a huge fan of small cars that aren't hatchbacks, but actually I think these look rather nice all the same. Little bit of a scene, bit of an autumnal scene, isn't it, in the background there. Anyway, enough waffle, let's open the brochure up and see what's inside. So we open the brochure up and we discover actually these small Fiat brochures in the 70s were actually more information than the same sized small Fiat brochures in the 80s, which were just four-sided sheets. This, as we can see, we've got another flap that we can actually fold out. Lovely little image of the interior. Nice little side shot of this two-door example in silver. And then a bit of a wordy section. You never got all these words in the 80s small brochures. We'll start reading the text, I think, just to learn a bit more about this car, see how it's trying to sell it. We'll cast our eye back on this lovely silver, which, I don't know, do I remember ever seeing these in silver? I don't know. And then a glimpse on the inside. So it starts by telling us, no wonder the Fiat 128 has won so many awards. Awards that come to mind, I do believe it won European Car of the Year in 1970. It compares favourably in price with other 1100 cars, yet it seats 5 in comfort, making it as roomy as most higher priced family saloons. It has always given small car economy, yet sparkling performance, and with its improved 1116cc overhead camshaft engine, it now gives an even better combination. By modifying the carburetor and combustion chamber, Fiat had given the engine increased torque at low engine speeds, resulting in better fuel economy, while the power output and top speed of 87 miles per hour remain the same. At 50 miles per hour, the 128 can do 46 miles to a gallon of petrol. The design of the 128 was carefully considered in every detail, and its transverse engine, front-wheel drive combination, has still to be bettered to give a big space in a compact body. Its servo-assisted brakes with discs on the front and the independent suspension all round give really effective stopping, plus good road holding. Inside, the spaciousness is accentuated by the good visibility and by the absence of a central tunnel. Really well-shaped seats, fitted carpeting, 2-speed heater and through-floor ventilation made the 128 a very comfortable car. Little features like intermittent windscreen wiper action and dipping rear view mirror all help add up to excellent value for money. Take a good look at the 128's clean modern lines and consider the facts. If you like what you see, contact your Fiat dealer and have a test drive completely without obligation. You won't be disappointed when you experience all the things that have made the 128 not only a Car of the Year award winner, but an enormous success in many countries of the world. So there we have it, this rather lovely example in silver. Looks quite high spec, doesn't it? Lovely chrome wheel trims on there. Like I say, only a 2-door example. And this sort of red and black seating just glimpsing in. Looks something a little bit special, that one, doesn't it? Also, a little bit of a scene is very 70s. We got a little bit of a racing bike, which we can just see, and somebody delivering the post in flared pants. Let's have a look on the inside. So when we peep on the inside, bit of a sea of black, I'll give you that, but the seats do break things up a little bit. The dashboard, very Fiat, isn't it? It's like we got a little bit of wood on the dash as well, so is that a bit of wood maybe? So certainly this is certainly a very high spec model. We do of course get the sort of like body colour peeping through on these shorter door cards. Looks like we've got some interesting door pockets in there though. Let's have a look at some more features, because when we fold this flap back again, we're reminded we do have these extra pictures which we'll have a look at. Quick note before we actually look at these images, if you've not done already, please do consider subscribing. It is all completely free and you get a glimpse at these interesting brochures if that's what you're interested in. Anyway, let's have a look at that engine compartment first. So it tells us the sturdy and proven 1116cc engine gives a combination of lively performance with small car economy. At 50 miles per hour, it can do 46 miles to a gallon of petrol. Glimpse on the inside there. We got a little bit of a spur wheel in the engine compartment. I don't mind that. The French used to do that quite often with their cars, and of course frees up a lot of space in the boot and means you don't have to slung it underneath, which you do with modern cars, and they're actually disgusting wherever you actually have to use them. Little tiny battery in there. At least you can see the engine, unlike modern cars though. A glimpse on the rear seats. It tells us spacious back seats is attractively upholstered with nylon cloth inserts and provide enough room to seat 3 adults in comfort. I presume the black area is vinyl, so as long as you don't touch the vinyl parts in black, I'm sure you'll be okay, but I'm sure that would be roasting hot in summer. But nice that they've got them cloth inserts for sure. Certainly brightens it up, if nothing else. A glimpse on the booted area. Notice this is an N registered car now, so a little bit later than that first car. The roomy 13 cubic foot boot holds a surprisingly large amount of luggage, ideal for families and holidays. And then we have a nicer look at the steering wheel and dash. Modern, well-equipped dashboard includes 2-speed heater and through-floor ventilation. It's well designed with all instruments situated for easy reading. Quite like that steering wheel design. Certainly looks very Fiat, A little bit of a Fiat badge in the centre there. No speedometer, but I don't think no speedometer. There is obviously a speedometer. What I'm trying to say, no rev counter on there, but I don't think you would expect it on this sort of level of car at the time. And then we turn to the back page and a bit of a sum up of the specifications and standard equipment. So let's have a look at that. So an 1116cc engine. Looks like we get 55 bhp at 6,000 rpm, 57 foot-pounds of torque at 3,600 rpm. A single OHC, front suspension, strut type, coil spring and anti-roll bar, rear suspension, transverse leaf. Steering is rack and pinion though. Brakes, disc at the front, drum at the back. Tells you about the wheel sizes, tyre sizes I should say, and then it starts talking about the length and height of the vehicle. Turning circle 33 feet 9. Tank capacity 8 3/4 gallons, and it is showing a towing capacity there. Maximum towing capacity of 13.3 CWT. Standard equipment then. Standard equipment, reclining cloth seat, which is quite nice to see on a very basic car in the 70s. Armrests, steel braced radial ply tyres, dipping mirror, intermittent action wipers, fitted carpets, radio and aerial are not fitted as standard. At the bottom here in the small print is the usual clause, we can change things at any time. And it's got the Fiat, in brackets England Limited, Great West Road, Brentwood, Middlesex. Leaflet designed and produced by Gross Monty, printed in England, 25M, and then the 676 meaning June 1976. So there we go, a quick glimpse of this tiny little Fiat 128 brochure. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you had a look at it. It's a shame we can't still buy sort of these cheap cars today. I'd be tempted, even knowing all the rust issues, to be honest with you. I do think they're a lovely little car. But thank you so much for watching today. Please do watch again soon. We're going to end by saying, if you're not subscribed already, please consider doing so. And of course, you can become a member as well if you want to support the channel. I don't give you much for being a member, so that's really for you to support the channel. And I do appreciate those who have become members. It helps immensely when you're only a very small YouTube channel. Don't get many viewers, we haven't got many subscribers. Obviously it's a niche subject, so when you become a member it really does help, and I will try and start offering people more benefits for becoming a member when we get a few more members. But thank you for those, I do appreciate it. But we'll end by showing you the brochure and by telling you I'm going to throw a couple of little boxes up now. There'll be for other episodes. One I'll probably do for Fiats, as I'm sure there are Fiat fans out there, and we've been doing quite a few Fiat brochures as of late. If you've missed any of those episodes, the other one will probably be quite a random brochure. But thank you so much for watching today. Please do take care. We'll see you again very soon. All the best and goodbye.